Welcome to Taci Studio. I'm Taci, and today we are going to go through a small tutorial where I'm going to show you how you can crochet a little scarf that resembles the Sophie scarf. The Sophie scarf is a very famous scarf by Petit Knit, and if you would like to see how to make one when knitting, I have that on my channel also, and I have a detailed tutorial that you can go back and check. But if you crochet and you'd like to make one, crocheting it instead, I am going to help you to start, keep going, increasing, crochet a little bit straight, then decrease until you finish your own little crochet small scarf. At first, I want to tell you what you need to have in order to make your own little crochet scarf. For this demonstration, I am going to use a yarn that is a light worsted, and I am using Malabrigo worsted, which has approximately 210 yards, and we should be okay with that. For this little one that I made, I had 180 yards, and I think it was a little bit small for my husband, which I was making that for him, but I think that it was a perfect size for me. So I think that we're gonna have enough here. But what you can do also is, if you want to weigh your yarn, and then when you get to half of the yarn, you can keep increasing until you get to half of it, and when you get to half, you start decreasing. For me, I have an idea of the size that I want to do, and I'm going to give you the information about that also. But I am using this yarn today. Then the other materials that we're going to need is, you need to have a crochet hook. For this size of yarn that I'm using, it requires a 5.5 millimeters or an eye crochet hook, and that's the one that I'm going to use. Because I don't have a specific pattern that I'm following for this recipe, which I will write on the show notes on the description for you, I am going to always use the crochet hook that it's recommended for the yarn that I am using. So for this yarn, the crochet hook recommended is a 5.5 millimeters or an eye. Then you also need some removable stitch markers. I have everything that I need on this little toolkit, which I have on my Etsy store, but you don't need to have this toolkit. What you need is to have some removable stitch markers, and you can use this, or you can use plastic stitch markers. You need to have a measuring tape, because that will help you measure the size that you want to make yours, and I will give you the measurements for the ones that I make. You could also just go by the weight of your yarn, like I said, and when you use half of the yarn for the increases, you can just start decreasing from there, and you should be okay. You need to have little scissors, or any scissors, and a tapestry needle so you can weave the ends in. So now we are going to start, and what I am going to do for the purpose of this one, I am going to make this one with the double crochet, but we can also make this with single crochet. You can make this with triple crochet, and I want to let you know that I'm using, for the purpose of this video, I am using US terms, and I am going to either make this with double crochet or the treble crochet, and I will show you when we start and see what would look better with this yarn. I usually am very informal with making this crochet little scarf because I don't, as I said, have a pattern that I use. But my recipe is pretty easy. To make sure, and I will write this down on the description below, but I will also have it written in here for you. The total measurement for this one that I made, and I will put a picture so you can see how it looks on me. It's 42 inches for the total length measurement, or 106.5 centimeters. The crochet increase area measures 19 centimeters, or 19 inches, I'm sorry, or 48 centimeters. The part that I, and you can see by the markers here that I wanted mine to be a little bit longer, so I did about 4 inches that had just straight crocheting without any increases, and I marked that in here so you could see that there's no increases on this area, and this area was about 4 inches or 10 centimeters. And then the decrease area measures about 19 centimeters, or 19 inches, or 48 centimeters, just like the increase side of it. So to start your crochet scarf, and I wanted to also make a disclaimer that I am not going to show you how to do the stitches here. I'm just going to show you how to make the scarf, and if you need to find out how to do a crochet, single crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, you can refer to other videos that I have here on this channel, and I have detailed tutorials on how to do those stitches. So we're going to start with a slip knot, and I am going to do 4 chains for the beginning of this pattern. From here, we are going to do, to make the corners a little bit more well done and that it looks like it's more straight for crochet, we're going to do what is called the single crochet stack, and that is you go to the second chain on the second chain from your needle, and you're going to do a single crochet in there, but then you're going back on this inside loop of the single crochet you just made, and you are going to do another single crochet there. Okay, and don't worry, I'm going to do this again in every other row, so you will be able to see that one more time. And then we are going to double crochet here on this third chain, or second from here, and we double crochet one more time. Now we are going to turn our work without chaining one. You are not going to chain in here because we are going to do the double stack single crochet here again, which gives you a good finish like I told you. So we're going to put our needle in there. We are going to do a single crochet. Then we're going to go on this leg of the single crochet we just did. We're going to loop again and do another single crochet here. Then we are going to do one double crochet again and another double crochet on the last stitch, which was the double stack single crochet. So now we are going to turn without chaining. We are going to get a stitch marker and we're going to put a stitch marker here so we know that that's where we are going to keep our increases. This way we can know exactly where to do the increase and don't get confused to increase on the wrong side. So we are going to, like we did before, no chain, right? We are going to do a single crochet and then we're going to double stack that single crochet, and then on that very same space we are going to do another double crochet. This way we are making an increase on this side, and then after that we are going to do a double crochet on the next stitch and a double crochet on the last stitch, which was the double stack from the row before. And now instead of 3 we have 4 stitches on this row. We are going to turn, and on this row here we are not going, and I'm going to turn this because I knew that the stitch was going to get on the other side, and I'll fix that when we get to the other side because I want to make sure that it's on this side, so I know that is the right side and that is the side that we are doing the increases. So let's just do that now and make sure that this stitch marker is on this side. Okay, for the second row we are going to do the double stack single crochet, which I have shown you before, and on this row we do not increase, we just do 3 more double crochets, which makes a double stack stitch and then 3 double crochets, and we have 4 stitches on this row on the wrong side. We're gonna turn, and now we are going to keep repeating these 2 rows, which is, I am going to do it one more time for you. A double stack single crochet, which makes a nice finish edge. Can you see that? And then we're gonna do 1. I am sorry, actually we are going, it's good that I showed you this, that I made a mistake, because we need to increase on this side, right? So we're gonna do another double crochet on the same space, and we are going to do 3 double crochets on the next 3 stitches. Now we are going to count, and we will see that we have 5 stitches on this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you feel better in the beginning, for you to not forget, you can move your stitch marker to the increase that you just did. This way you don't get confused when you doing the next row, which is you're going to turn, you are going to do a double stack single crochet and 4 double crochets, which will give us 5 stitches. We are going to keep doing this until we have gotten, we're going to keep repeating these 2 rows until we get about 19 inches. And that's what I want for my scarf. You can make a choice if you want longer, if you want the middle to be wider, but I'm giving you a recipe for how I made mine. So I am going to crochet this up to 19 inches, repeating these 2 rows, and I will meet you again when we have the 19 inches. So now I wanted to show you a couple of things. They're just details, but some of the things that I do that is helpful to me. And one of them is, this was not an increase row, but it doesn't matter which row. When I get to the end of the row, I turn my work to my left to be able to start again, because if I do this, the yarn is already on the back for me to start, instead of having to turn the yarn around or move the yarn. So the yarn is already on the back if you turn your work to the left. The next thing I'm going to show you is where I put my stitches when I do the stitches. Some people like to do the stitches in between double crochets or in between stitches, and that makes it look a little bit different than what mine does. I put my stitches on the top of the stitch, which is where the V is. There's a little space in here, not in between the stitches, not between, but a little space there, where if you put your hook right there, you will see that your needle is on that little V on the top. And that's where I like to put my stitches, because it makes for this little ridge that you see here. And on this yarn, you see the ridge on that makes this texture like this. You see this one a little bit less. On with this yarn, you can see the ridge a little bit more pronounced. And it depends on the yarn, and also how I made this with a little bit smaller needle, so the stitch was, and the fabric was a little bit tighter. This one, I'm using a needle actually one size less recommended. I started with a 5.5, and it was looking a little bit too loose, so I changed to a size 5. And for me, this makes a perfect texture and a perfect fabric for this scarf. So let's keep going until we have 19 inches or 48 centimeters, and then we'll meet here again. The other thing that I want to remind you is that make sure that you do a stack single crochet on both sides. On this side, we do, on the side that we are increasing, we do a second stitch on the same stitch space, just so we have an increase. When we turn, we do a single stack crochet here, but we don't increase. We just do the single stack crochet, and then we go on to do the double crochet on the next stitch. I just wanted to remind you and make sure that you know we are doing this single stack crochet on both sides to make a nice edge on your scarf. Okay. Now that we have 19 inches, we are ready to start our section that is going to just be crochet straight without the increases. So we're going to put a marker here and we're going to crochet for 4 inches, and that will give us the size and length that we want for this scarf. Now that we have put a marker in there, we are going to do a stacked single crochet on this edge like we were doing before, but we are not going to do another stitch here because we don't want to increase on this row. So we're going to continue for both rows. We're just going to do a stack single crochet and keep on doing double crochets to the end of the row. We're going to turn and we are going to do another single stacked crochet or stacked single crochet and knit for crochet, I'm sorry, for 4 inches or 10 centimeters, and I will meet you back when we have the 4 inches done. So now we have crocheted about 4.5 inches. Mine is 4.5 inches, but I like if it's a little bit longer, so I'm okay with that. And I have also marked the halfway point between these two, and it was to 2 inches, 2.25 inches for me, just so when we are getting closer to the end, I can make sure that I am halfway on this point here. Now we are going to end with a wrong side row, and we are going to turn our work to the left, and we're going to start decreasing. To decrease, we are going to do a stacked single crochet at the very first stitch, like we have been doing the whole time we were increasing. This way we will continue to have a consistent edge. I have marked here because then I know that's where I'm going to start decreasing, and you can use your preferred method to decrease double crochets. I'm going to use my preferred method because I think this one is the one that makes it look more like a 1 double crochet. So that's my preferred method. I'm going to loop, take 1 loop here, take 1 loop here. Now we have 4 loops here. I will take 3 of them and then those 2. That's my preferred method. And we are going to double crochet now all the way to the end of this row. When we get to the end of this row, we are going to turn like we were, and just make sure that you always do the stitch that it's going to be on top of the double stack single crochet. This way it also looks consistent in here. We're going to turn our work to the left, and in here we are not going to decrease. We are going to do a stack single crochet, and we are going to double crochet all the way to this row. When we get to the end of this row, we are going to make sure that you also put a stitch on top of that double stack single crochet. We're going to turn our work. We're going to do another stack single crochet in here to keep the consistency, and we're going to decrease once again and keep crocheting to the end of this row. We are going to repeat these 2 rows, which is a row with a decrease and a row without a decrease, all the way until we have only 4 stitches in our scarf. So I will meet you back here when we have 4 stitches. Now we have done all the decreases and we have 4 stitches here, and if you remember, we started our scarf with 3 stitches, so we are going to do a stacked single crochet here at this very edge. We're going to do a decrease here, and we're going to do a double crochet in this end on the very last stitch, and we can now cut the yarn and our scarf will be done. Okay, but what I want to show you is that if you want to, you can do on the edge that you had the increases, the edge that grows, that you had the increases and decreases, we can do a decorative border if you would like to. And I am going to show you how to start and do a picot edge for this one. So I am going to do a slip stitch on the next 2 stitches so we can be at the edge, and I'm going to change needles to a 4mm needle to do a picot edge here on the shawl, on the scarf. So I'm going to do a single crochet here, then a single crochet again, and in here I'm going to do 3 chains, and I am going to slip stitch on the first chain, and I am going to go to the next stitch and do a single crochet, and I have the very first picot. So I am going to do 3 more single crochets. So we have 3 single crochets, and on the 4th one I am going to do another picot, which is 3 chains. Then we're going to slip stitch on the very first chain, and I pick up 2 of this, so it's a little bit 2 legs of the chain to be a little bit more stable. And then I'm going to the next and I'm doing a single crochet, and I think that that would be enough. But if you want to have more, to have the stitches closer, you can also do 2 single crochets. I'm going to continue to do mine with 3, and I'm going to do this edge all the way to the end that had the increases and the decreases. I am not going to do it on the other end. I'm going to leave it plain, and I'll come back to show you when I finish doing the edge. So here we are at the end of our scarf. We are done after doing the little edge, and as I said, I'm not doing an edge on this side, and it's done and complete. And here is our crochet scarf that resemble the knitted Sophie scarf. I hope that you liked and that you enjoyed, and that this inspired you to make your own. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe so I can bring more videos like this for you. I hope that you stay healthy, continue to crochet, to knit, craft, and do what makes you happy. Until I see you next time, ciao!